Hello and welcome to this video on how to clean and prepare your bonsai pots. Let's say, for the sake of argument, you've suddenly inherited a relative's bonsai collection, or perhaps you're looking to get into it and you've come across a good deal on your local Facebook group. So you go and you buy all these pots, or you come into them, and you think, well, they look kind of terrible. I should probably clean them up. There are certain things you should be mindful of when going to do so. Not just because you can seriously damage the pots, but certain things work better than others, to say the least. Bonsai pots are going to be essential for the health and aesthetics of a bonsai tree, and they will provide proper drainage, root support, and visual appeal when used correctly. But using them also involves cleaning them. Cleaning them removes dirt, mineral deposits like limescale from hard water, algae, and potentially pathogens that could harm your bonsai. And preparation involves setting up the pot for repotting, such as adding mesh screens and tie-down wires to secure the soil and tree in place. The process will vary by pot type, whether it's a glazed ceramic, shiny non-porous, unglazed ceramic, porous and earthy, a mica, composite materials, plastic, or some sort of antique or perhaps special pot. So, as a rule, prioritize safety, as some methods will use acids or chemicals, but methods should always be tested first, preferably on a small area, and especially so for decorated or antique pots so as to avoid damaging, otherwise unreplaceable pots. You can also cause issues like paint removal and possibly loss of patina. The materials you'll need to gather are going to be based on your pot type and the cleaning method used. The basic is simply the soap. A dish soap, or say some sort of orange or citrus based cleaner, water, a nylon brush, an abrasive eraser, and say a pumice or a scouring stick. Of course, you'll also need a wet cloth or a sponge, but that should be fairly obvious when you're using soap of some kind. For stains and deposits, an acid like 30% cleaning vinegar, acetic acid, possibly apple cider vinegar, lemon juice, acidic toilet bowl cleaners with hydrochloric or sulfamic acids, CLR, calcium lime and rust remover, or trisodium phosphate, a TSP, a powder, or even as a liquid. And then you'll need some sort of neutralizer, and to be mindful of safety, a way to protect yourself. A baking soda if you're going to use acid and neutralize it more specifically, a chemically resistant nitrile gloves, eye goggles, an apron, some sort of mask, especially if you're going to be looking at using something that produces vapors. For oiling, this is mostly for unglazed pots, a walnut oil, mineral oil, or a machine oil, the last one typically being some sort of mineral oil anyway. And of course, tool preparation. Wire mesh screens, plastic or aluminium for drainage holes, tie-down wires, aluminium or copper, and something about 1 to 2 millimeters thick in that regard, along with wire cutters and pliers. Finally, you may need large plastic bowls, tubs or similar for soaking, and something like a Scotch-Brite pad for particularly if it's not a glazed surface. So first of all, safety precautions. Do this outside. You want to be in a well-ventilated area to avoid inhaling fumes. This is not a chance to get stoned, it will destroy your lungs. So, ventilation. Wear your protective gear, particularly the gloves, protect your skin from burns, goggles for eye protection, and if you're using a strong acid, we do recommend a mask, but it's not absolutely essential, it's just a bad idea not to. Acids can also produce flammable gases, hydrogen from hydrochloric acid for example, so don't smoke while you're doing this. Or, for that matter, any other open flame. After you've done all your work, neutralize your acids with baking soda or something similar to create safe byproducts. Water, CO2 and salts, for example. For TSP, rinse it with water and dispose away from waterways to prevent environmental issues like algae growth. You also want to avoid abrasive tools like steel wool. This not only causes rust issues, but, scratches. Metal brushes, power tools, or pressure washers, as they can scratch or damage the pots. Do not use dishwashers. We've seen this suggested, just no. Especially for plastic. Plastic simply because it melts it, and dishwashers because it's dirt, it does have microbes in it, and it's not exactly made with the idea of cleaning your bonsai pots in mind. It's just not well suited. Chemicals are also corrosive and toxic, so keep them away for your kids and pets. The step-by-step process starts with the gentlest of methods, and you can escalate if needed. Clean the pots after removing a tree, typically during repotting, or periodically every few weeks for an in-use pot to maintain appearances. If you're just trying to do a quick cleanup, use some leaf shine spray on dry spots, which will remove your dirt and any watermarks in seconds, and then wipe over with a little bit of mineral oil. If you're going more in depth, well, you remove any old soil, roots, debris, etc. from the pot using a nylon brush or by hand, and then rinse with water to loosen surface dirt. After this, we get into the actual cleaning. Mix dish soap or some sort of similar cleaner with warm water. Scrub the pot inside and out with a nylon brush or a sponge. For light dirt, you can use a moist cloth dipped in baking soda as a bicarb scrub, and rub gently. Rinse thoroughly with water afterwards and let it dry. If we then go up a level to removing stains and deposits, which is sort of an escalation in severity, but to be honest, it's probably reality rather than an escalation. Most pots will have some sort of mark on them you're trying to get rid of. For a light deposit, you can just use a dry scrub with an abrasive eraser or pumice stick. Optionally wetting it with a little bit of vinegar or citric acid and soaking it briefly, then scrubbing. Follow with soap and water to clean it off. For more advanced deposits, for example on ceramic, glazed, micro and plastic, apply a strong vinegar solution with a brush. Soak for 30 or more minutes and then scrub with a nylon brush or even pumice. Just avoid pumice on microplastic to prevent abrasion. You may need to repeat this a couple of times if it's necessary. Rinse and neutralize with baking soda water. For medium to heavy duty deposit issues, you're going to have to submerge the pot. Submerge it in 30% or stronger vinegar or a TSP solution for up to 30 days. Check it periodically during this time. Having your pot do a magic disappearing trick inside of the acid is not a way to clean it, it's a way to lose the pot. Scrub and rinse in water for about 30 minutes and then dry it. For vinegar, use about a 1:4 ratio of vinegar to water, and for lighter soaks, scrub with a nylon brush. If you have really heavy deposits and there are no decorations you're worried about losing, use acetic toilet bowl cleaners at full strength. Apply it, let it soak for 5 to 15 minutes until the bubbling stops, scrub and then neutralize with baking soda, and then apply some sort of vinegar to try and clean up anything that's left over. This works similarly for natural options if you're inclined to use those instead. For specific pots, and we're talking initially here about unglazed ceramic, after cleaning, apply mineral oil or walnut oil with a Scotch-Brite pad or cloth, and wipe away excess for shine and protection. For antique pots, use only a wet towel and walnut oil. Wipe off excess to maintain the sheen without harsh chemicals. For mica pots, stick to vinegar, TSP or a toilet cleaner. Use a nylon brush only, nothing that is abrasive, otherwise you're just going to start tearing up the plastic. And for plastic pots such as HDPE or PP, soap, orange cleaner or CLR. If you're going to use hydrochloric acid, test it on a spot to see if it causes unwanted reactions, and of course again avoid scratching from abrasives. And then finally a rinse. Always end with a soap and water scrub. Thoroughly rinse it and air dry to remove the residues. Once you've finished all of this, theoretically it should be clean now. Prepare the pot for repotting, and you should be waiting until it's clean and dry, just in case you have anything that's left behind like a residue. You'll know by waiting for it to dry. First, add your mesh screens. Cut wire mesh to cover any of the drainage holes. This will prevent soil from escaping while allowing water to flow freely. The water must flow just like the spice must flow. Secure it with small wires or by pressing into place. Typically wires will be necessary. Install the tie-down wires by threading 1 to 2 mm wire through the drainage holes, and occasionally, if not typically, you'll find dedicated tie-down holes. Form a U shape or loops inside the pot to anchor the tree's roots during planting. Trim the excess outside of the pot and you're done. Optionally, for an unglazed pot, a light application of oil, walnut or mineral oil, is used on the exterior, partly for moisture protection and partly to enhance the colour. It really does bring out the natural earthy tones if you use mineral oil. It's also somewhat more weather resistant than walnut oil is. Overall, this setup should ensure stability and proper drainage when adding bonsai soil, and then your bonsai rather obviously. Some tips and maintenance hacks, let's call them. Clean pots seasonally or when repotting to prevent buildup. It saves you a lot of work if you can do it that way. For ongoing care, wipe with a damp cloth and re-oil, particularly unglazed pots every few weeks. This will reduce the amount of work you have to do later on. try to store clean pots in a dry shaded area to avoid dust and or cracking. It's important to remember that pots are effectively a consumable. The nature of a ceramic pot means that it goes through expansion and contraction cycles and will eventually break. This is just the nature of what they are as a ceramic. Plastics don't quite break that way. They go through different, let's say, degradation pathways, but a separate issue entirely. Just be aware of the fact that they will fail over time. If you're using commercial products like leaf shine, ensure they're both plant safe and non-toxic, just in case. You don't want to be poisoning your bonsai, especially if you're particularly fond of it. And experiment cautiously. What works for one pot is probably going to work for another in the same category. But if you switch from, say, a glazed pot to a natural pot, or say some sort of handmade pot that's done by a potter that you know, it may not, and in fact probably won't work the same way at all. These material differences mean you have a very good chance of ruining something if you're not careful. But if you stick to experimental developments and checking cautiously, this process will keep your bonsai pots in top condition. It should support healthy tree growth and we don't want to say beautiful, but it's probably the only word that applies here, a display, and if not beautiful, at least it looks competent. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it interesting, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. And please do post any comments, questions, or suggestions you have below.